any map without a silver unless you're looking at the likes of Fracture. So both teams opting in very different styles. Ascend, well, this is the Ascend comp we know and love. A lot of teams have tried to run it themselves. We may get to see some Brim action pre-buff as well. So Bunkle probably going to be playing a lot of that in the future. This time, though, yeah, Ascend needing to bounce back after last week's defeat. G2 could have a surprise win here, but they have a lot to do.
Oh, very excited to see how Mixwell is going to play here on this chamber. Throughout his career being great when he gets that AWP in his hand. So excited to see how that's going to work out with that tour de force a little bit later on as well. So here we are getting started with Avova playing towards Hookah. So to drop back and we look at Ascend and how they're setting up at the moment, posturing 3 plays towards the showers area. Nukia over here right now occupying it with Meadow. So this could be quite a disaster for Ascend early on. They've got to clear out 2 plays in the showers. This could get messy.
Got the Viper playing anti-flash as well. Right at the screen, knowing that there's a lot of chances that the Sky is over in this position. Nokia is nothing to get out, but manages to sneak through just as that toxic screen comes in. So a lot of damage done, a lot of utility used, and something at the very least thrown through the teleport that's taking the attention of Bone Cold, at least for now. The spike is over on that Shower's position. Nokia gets traded out.
Yeah, good for one. Quickly replied to by Bone Cold is Mixwell looks to crack the round open with his headhunter up in towards short side, but it hasn't really panned out for him. 30 seconds left, or under now. Mixwell's taking good damage by Bone Cold, who's just trying to crack open an opportunity to charge the way through the site. Hoodie's come in with a flank around the backside from the TP, luckily able to spin on Zeke. Hoodie does get traded out by Kiles and Bone Cold as well, finally getting that kill he's been looking for so long.
Must know that Mixwell's down to low health to just want to go in and spray.
Yeah.
Even the smoke.
He's trying to come back in. Smokes up. CNET's come through. Tap on the defuse to make a little bit of panic go in the way of Ascend, but right now is G2 getting cleaned up and Ascend with the pistol win.
And just that re-aggression right into that Shower's position. Like, Nukia not afraid of him, not even afraid of that TP crunch coming through. Nice idea from Hoodie. I think it's a good thing to instill in the attackers that you can do that in any given moment, especially Sky's playing in that position, right? But Bone Cold, yeah, he loves the Brimstone. This is why he picks it. It's less of, sure, you have that aggression, high tempo of play, but it's an agent that he is most comfortable on in comparison to Astra. I think that's the case for a lot of the agents on this Ascend composition and why it works so well. A little bit of a bite from G2. Marshall and a Sheriff. Or shot even for Avova, but Nuki also having a Sheriff himself. Ova's going to want to fight for this position a lot, but this is why Raze is used on this map. Just being able to scale it, clear it with utility. A bit more front end from Zeke.
Yeah, just throwing everything that he's got towards the shorty. Pretty good for one. He has taken a lot of damage, so re-peeking would be very dangerous right now, so he's decided to play a little bit more passive on that. G2 feel good about the start, but again, it's still a very difficult round here for G2, even though they have the advantage. Holding on to it is going to be a big problem. Swing out from CNED. Removal of Hoodie towards the back of the site. They still have to clear out Hookah, which Ascend are going to be aware of, but are they going to be able to deal with it? Avova now has a teammate alongside him, making a lot of noise, that TP back, but the worst gun for this position really now, the shorty at that range, so switching out to the Classic instead.
Spike planted.
All of this controlling Hookah allows the teleport to come through as well. So 3 defenders over in this spot trying to throw that paint shell into Cubby's stack. So he hasn't got a chance in hell. I wonder how much the Viper can do on this defense. Start to crunch up.
Oh yeah, Meadow not looking the right way. Zeke able to clear him out. Now this position very strong for Zeke. His teammates can hold off the offensive from Hookah. And CNED closes with 3 kills and Ascend have 2 in a row. 2 players only stay up though for Ascend. Good damage done from G2 in that round, but unfortunately for them won't be the reply. Instead, they now go to the rifles. Ascend, they do lose 3 players, so yes, it will be a bonus to the 2 Spectres, but the rest of them will be investing into better weapons.
Kind of shows that Ascend can't necessarily just have their way in and need to keep fighting for that Hookah position. Wonder how much of it is going to be G2 trying to fight for it from then on out. Again, it's just going to be the chamber moving over to the Hookah position, trying to fight in, setting up that utility, teleporting back, holding on to shot.
Yeah,
he's going to challenge it early.
What? Floating satchel. He got stuck on the Trailblazer. And right through the toxic screen is Nukia with the first kill of play. He'll throw the... Not again, Starkzone. Not again. Back to back. It's taken out of the round by Pain Shells.
He's managed to take a lot of space in Hookah. It's just how much he can realistically get used at this point. Keela is just having a frenzy. Might be able to pick up some of the guns that were left on the ground right by the corpses. Yeah, a chance to get some bigger guns in hand now, as Keeles does have that Spectre. Checking more close towards Shower, still wants to dedicate in his position. The Velvet knows that Hookah could be pushed out of on this point. There's still a bit of room for Ascend to try and push and fight for these spots, at least farm up some orbs as well. G2 can instantly teleport as well, where the stuff's set up for the rendezvous. The Mixwell can just lean over on this A site, TP back to Cubby as soon as possible. Issue is, we've already seen one player die there with a paint shell. Zeke doesn't have it this time.
Well, Zeke doesn't really have a whole lot going for him. Luckily, he's able to satchel back, and now Kilo swings to the back of the site, but Meadow at the ready for him. Interesting talking points from Yinsu on the fact that Meadow, believing he has played the most Cypher out of anybody, can definitely see that being the case, Ryan. Meadow has just always been one of those Cypher mains, but, you know, does that, in your opinion, kind of limit the team's composition options if you have someone that's so stuck to one role?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'd even say that before Viper was in that, like, pseudo-sentinel role, that he just didn't play a lot of Killjoy when Killjoy was meta. And, like, it lines up with, like, what Pipson's had compositionally in the past on this map. Typically would move away from the Viper and play a Killjoy. Instead, whether that was comfort, whether that was the feeling that a Viper wasn't 100% necessary, I like this composition more than what I've seen in the past from Vodafone Giants at G2, like the Meadow Pipson squads. Now, the flash is going to come in. I didn't going to expect the operator this early on in the hands of CNED.
Here.
Oh, if they're not expecting it, they're about to get a rude awakening here. Luckily, the screen goes up. CNED looking for the pick. Oh, Nukia, he uses it early, and CNED gets cleared out. Showstopper takes down the operator before it finds any impact, and that is great from Nukia. He has been a master of the showers so far.
Yeah.
And now Z trying to watch that drop back. The pinch shells are going to force them back. Great stuff from Nukia here.
You also got to say the Hoodie as well. Just the flashes for the teleport gets just the enough information. And Nuki feels that he can just go in and warrant that kind of execute with the showstopper. Even better that he catches CNED. No heals, no operator available in the round. Nuki, despite being low health, trying to go for more.
Yeah, they're trying to pull the attention away here to set up Meadow for these close fights. And Mixwell's going to cover him off. Two picked up. Starkzone Killer is out of play. Zeke now into the clutch alone because Bone Call's now down. And Zeke has to do everything in the 1v4. Operator's there. Pain Shell's out to the left side, but what can Zeke really get away with in this round? Smoke's going to be up for the time being, but it goes away. You're now trying to get the spike down. It's a bit of a problem, and tries to force the fight at Heaven, but caught between a sandwich, and Hoodie will bring him down. So 2-2, tied up, and yeah, looking at this G2 early, well, they're showing some positive signs, Ryan.
Oh yeah, signs of life for sure. Now Ascend having to eco big expenditure with getting that operator on early. Forces out the big ultimate of the showstopper too, and as you're seeing in the bottom right, big ultimate's coming online for Ascend. Now it's just Chef's frenzy, seeing what they can find, seeing what openings they can get. But I guess most importantly, not giving away too much of the default, because right now it feels like G2 have a good idea that Showers is always going to have some presence there. Flashing through again just to check it. No info this time. So what's the adjustment from G2? They're so good fundamentally. Where do they move and how do they go on from this point?
Now looking to explode out of Hookah. Looking to try and overrun Avova, but Zeke goes pretty far into the site. Looking to try and pull the gravity wall into the fight. Avova able to reposition away from that close position of Hookah, and that does allow him to potentially find more impact here. Just over 1 minute left. G2's forces occupy the B site with significant numbers. And for Ascend, they're really struggling to get through these choke points. Good start here for G2, keeping these rounds clean, really stopping any threat from Ascend from arising. And in fact, it is so clean, it's flawless. Well done from G2 as they take 3.
explosiveness coming out of ACEND, trying to just hop through onto hookah. Instant response from Avova that's playing very close to that hookah entrance or opening, I suppose. But also, Mixwell picking up that operator from CNED before still has it. Means that the economy's good, even if Mixwell goes down and can't save the op for whatever reason in the next, he'll still be able to afford it. So good for that advantage to have. And realistically, Chamber could be the difference between ACEND's near enough unbeaten composition to losing. We just don't know. We don't know enough about how the meta can adjust. And it's yet to adjust again.
Good start for Mixwell. Opening pick and the operator. But he's going to send out a couple of these guiding lights. Now the Seekers follow up alongside of it, and Hoodie looks to swing the showstopper. Good for Zeke. CNET gets one kill. Not only that, but he gets the res back on the Bone Cold. And now we're at a 3v3 again. Missed shot, missed opportunity from Mixwell. Going to be towards the back of the side to side. Oh, retreating into spawn is probably the play there, and charges towards Elfbow instead. But CNET currently occupies this position. So this advanced setup from CNET could really come into battle here for ACEND. This could be the move that gets them the advantage kill, but you have to be aware of Nukia coming in from hookah. They're not looking the right way. The element of surprise, it's easily a kill, but CNET, he got a collateral elsewhere. And now it's just Nukia thrust into the clutch, and Starkso swings with a headshot. 3-3, we're tied up.
I think that's the big thing about CNED, right? Is just those elements of like what makes him one of the best Jets in the world. Obviously, he's on Sage. His decision making has got so much better. The fact that nobody was expecting Nukia to flank around. As soon as he does, CNED takes that peek. All of that attention taken towards the B site. He can go in for that flank and get two. So pivotal. He's 8-3. Nukia is 7-3, and that full buy is still available. Big ultimates expended so far on ACEND to resurrect the showstopper to try and get in. But they have a Seekers coming online soon for Starkso.
Oh,
look at this conditioning.
Look at this from Mixwell. Trying to force the issue. Unfortunately misses. Has to rendezvous back to a safer position. And now come ACEND. Over the top they go. Trailblazer being sent in. Zeke was confused for a moment, and Mixwell towards the back of the side. Looked like he had the collateral. Just one for him though. Quarter force only good for one, and now trying to set up some trademarks just to try and slow them as they finally run him down. 3v3 now extended upon for Zeke as they take the advantage. Nukia pulls it back once again to the equilibrium. Oh, the plant, it looked to come through, and it does. Just the last second of over close to denying, but it has put Zeke into the 1v2. And it's the long wrap back from Nukia. He's taking his time. Look at this. Yeah. He's gone all the way around.
But like Avova has not moved. He's still got the judge in hand. There's guns in front of him that he can upgrade with.
And so a lot of time here, right?
He cannot be expecting this. Like Zeke is an intelligent player. I'm just very curious if he's going to expect this level of wraparound. And also the gun change up.
Yeah, given the low HP player, the judge for the information gathering, and Zeke is so low, he sends the paint shells in. He's not in the position to deal with the plant, and now the defuse is being stuck. Nukia's on it, over half. He comes off it though, and that gives Zeke the chances. The time's ticking. Zeke goes into it, and Zeke will clutch it. An ace for Zeke, all 5 picked up, and that's ACEND up to 4.
Avova could have stuck the defuse.
He could have. I don't think Zeke was aware.
Even just on time alone, that's not the kind of play that you like hop off on. Like, I get it, sure, and when it works, it is an elite play. But Avova just makes it hard for himself. This is so brave for Zeke to just hold this. Does he hear a footstep? The shots certainly give it away for Avova. He tries to take the spray in just in case, but Zeke plays that to a T. That is not an easy round to try and win out, and he aces.
What an incredible round. Zeke was just a one-man army, really, just running through, charging into the fight. And now we're looking at this B-long contact explosion out toward the fight. It's Hoodie with 1, Hoodie with 2, and finally down with a pain shells. Zeke continues his bloodlust as he moves forward. There's no end to his bloodshed. The Mixwell stuck in the site. The teleport has come through, and that spike is making its way towards the A site. Meadow now crosses into the open. It's just over a minute left in play.
There's no showers control either. It's probably better to reset, but look at the crunch. Nuki's actually going to like push all the way around, and it's going to be at least pretty fast info for G2 to counteract. Mixwell's going to be aware of this. Having the operator just has to choose the right angle, right? Is it going to be hookah? Is it going to be B long? And can he TP out? Looks like he might be able to. Oh no, wait, he's too far out to actually reach it.
Oh, up they go, down they go as Mixwell gets the shot on the Zeke. Finally, he's out of the round. Mixwell able to TP, just moves back into position enough, gets away with a TP away, and stays alive to fight at least for a few more seconds. Nuka around the backside, another flank from Hookah that has reaped the reward and thrusts Killers into the 1v2. The showstopper stops the 1v3 from even being a possibility. G2 are showing that they're going to be able to compete early on here. They've tied up the scoreline already.
All right, something really important's happening here too. Like everything that I've said about like Hoodie throwing up the Sky Flash through the teleport onto Showers, ACEND went from leveraging a lot of players in that position defaulting it to completely leaving it alone. Even when they went for the teleport to go for an A execute, they didn't have Showers control. It was still in the hands of Nukier, and he could just hold on to that angle. It's so difficult here. Like, look at this. The only person you've got over there is Keeles watching the flank, but he has to try and do it for, like, Short and Showers. So I think that G2 are winning this out in the sense of, like, players are not really wanting to go in that spot. The problem is, G2 have done it a couple of times. It's got no information. Is Hoodie going to continue doing it?
I'm just so glad that we see Nuka get to keep that res, because you can see the impact he's able to get out of it so far.
I don't think it flashed anyone that time. Because Zeke managed to push all the way through.
Mixwell. It's out of dodge again. Meadow, he's playing this close position. He's often been here, but this time he massacres two. Killers and Stark, so the victims of it. And these pistols, well, the Sting is now out of their play. They're slowed down. Walking any closer surely means death, and that's exactly what will happen. G2 with the flawless, as they now take the lead on Bind.
Been a couple of these flawlesses for G2. Also, Bone Cold, it's the second time he's used his orbital strike against an eco, or on an eco even. So I don't know if it's just a case of really ACEND wanted to use these on 50 rounds just to have something that can maybe have a bit of punch. But it's also like everything I've said about like map control being a little bit tepid of taking Showers because of the teleport away from Mixwell with the operator. Nukier taking those fights. Nukier switched it up to be alone. They're so comfortable with this operator hold on Showers. They can change up their default a bit more. And this is cool, right? Like it's the idea of like Hoodie holding onto this angle. They won't expect Nuki here because he hasn't played here at all so far.
I've lost my feed, Ryan, so you will have to take it away.
All right, easy peasy then. Grav is going to come in, and Bone Cold pushing around does actually find Nukier that gets a bit too over-eager to try and find a fight. Smoke from the defense is going to dissipate, potentially a flash play coming in from Hoodie. Opts against it. Now Keela is managing to make this lurk work. He's not just going to be sat idly by, but is he going to expect the peek from Meadow? No, that impact has been so good from Meadow, holding his A-shot position. He's able to do it yet again, and then the Viper's pit too.
Yeah, well, wall is up. That creates a corridor of safety for ACEND to try and move forward, but is it really safe when Mixwell's around? He's found a headshot. Now Meadows turn to walk into them. It's a kill onto CNED, and now just one left. It's Bone Cold. And when I mean one left, well, he has healed up. I was about to say his HP matched that, but back up in health and back to killing as he finds three. Smoke will come down, giving him a corridor to play with and keep his opponents guessing. Spike does go down, and he dodges the gravity wall as well as he crosses over. He wants to take the fight at Heaven. He wants to drop Hoodie. He's actually managed to get back into the showers and keep eyes on the follow-up player as well. Evova's coming up from short. Another smoke comes through. He's got the molly indeed for the post plant. He can run this time down, and that can certainly come into play. Hoodie starts to walk.
Smoke.
No tap yet. Smoke is up. He's going to play with it. Cosmic to fight in, but he's on the right side, and unfortunately for him, Hoodie's too quick, and the headshot will land.
I mean, the whole idea that Bone Cold had there was so good. He still had the molly as well. G2 did not expect him to be in showers, and when he puts that smoke up, he's blocking off his own vision. And even with the Cosmic Divide dedicated by G2, they just assume that he's playing it.
As he pushes through elbow and around the back of defender spawn, but other than that, I mean, ACEND haven't really been able to go toe for toe against G2. And let's set the context here, Ryan, for the guys at home. This matchup is important for ACEND because they lost to Guild, right? So now they have to try and recover this, and this is their recovery mission, and it hasn't got off to the best of starts.
Both teams are 1-1 in the standings. I think whoever wins this sort of confirms their place in playoffs. Hard to say, really. But if ACEND lose this, that's real problematic, right? 2 series losses out of your first 3 games of the year after winning champions.
Yeah, it's
not the best luck. Yeah, and it's not really going to get easier for ACEND either. They still have Fnatic to play. Sure, they might have BBL, but BBL are in a bit more of a tear at the moment. Oh, sorry, they'll have Supermassive Blaze. So, yeah, should be a series win there potentially, but you get the point.
Yeah, it's not easy from this point onwards for ACEND, so need to get going. But Nukia, he's just a nuisance. He's pushed, he's proactive, he's around the backside again. Again, ACEND have pistols in this round, so it should be G2 taking 7, but you would like ACEND to pose a bit more of a threat when they invest this much into the Sheriffs to get a good bit out. 1 kill from Bone Cold, but immediately answered by Avova.
Operators here in this position too. Just watching this angle more than anything. He could have a lot to do if he could just blast back in and check this corner, but it's all in a second. Mixwell not even taking that fight. He's been so much more reserved. He knows when to get out of dodge when he needs to. Navova playing in the smoke, hoping to find something.
It's a risky position. You can't really get out of this, so he times the smokes where he might be able to change up his position, or he wants to phase it. And actually, with those paint shells, Stark, so it's at the 3rd time he's died in Nukia's paint shells in this game so far. 3 kills picked up for Nukia. And there's just 1 left. It's Bone Cold. 10 seconds left. Finally, a headshot. Good onto Mixwell, but Nukia closes with 4. He's just having a field day against these pistols right now.
Yeah, and they got the operator picked up as well. This is very interesting. The other thing I was going to say, with certainly NA teams more just sometimes moving to the chamber full time instead of Jet. I don't mean like Wardell, I mean like some of the VCT teams as well. Maybe they dropped Kellogg's and brought back Mixwell for that reason alone. Maybe this isn't the only map we're going to be seeing Mixwell playing that Sentinel on, because if it opens up Nukia on the Raze or another duelist, well then, that's where you get G2 firing on all cylinders. That's very much the case here. Tour de Force dedicated, and his defenders going out for a wide aggressive peak. The Orbital Strike is going to keep them in place, but Bone Cold gets caught out in the open.
Yeah, Bone Cold going down early again is a big problem here for ACEND. The first time they've had a rifle back in a while, and they've been caught with a player down. And Zeke, oh, he jumps up into the fight while he's slowed, while he's stunned, and that will cost him his life. CNED now left in the clutch. 1v4, and if there is a man to pull off a miracle round for ACEND, it would be this guy. We'll see if he can do it. He's found another, rises up his teammate, and Mixwell, he's slowed back. CNED swings!
Oh my
God, that is a miracle for CNED, and suddenly it's just Meadow left in the 1v2. He's coming around the backside as we go under a minute, and this is what we talk about when we talk about the superstar power of CNED. He gets you right back into a round that just looked unwinnable. Meadow has to try and pull this back. And yes, there is a gap. There's a little doorway for Meadow to slip his way around the backside. But at Bone Cold, he's only a warning system for CNED. The real threat still in the sight, and that is CNED left. 1v1, Meadow climbs up on top. Snakebite to try and limit these positions. But do you really want to force the fight? Meadow will stop it. He will prevent CNED's inevitability. And that will be a round for G2 to close it at the half.
8-4 on the half. ACEND looking like ghosts of themselves, it feels, on this map. It's a different change-up. Sure, it's a very different sort of position to be in, right? You lose the map. It's a big change-up in regards to like the schedule. ACEND are very much up in the air at the moment, and it certainly feels that way. That cohesion, what makes this ACEND comp really slap, it's just not really there. G2 not only have an answer from it from a macro play, everybody's firing in all cylinders, and Mixwell on the chamber is a huge difference to how it's playing out for ACEND.
Yeah, but we finally got a glimpse of what ACEND have to see why they're champions. They have this kind of impact available in the team. We didn't get to see it really click for them on the attacking side. A big part of that was Nukia just being suffocating, never giving them the space to play with. But ACEND, if they find a pistol here in the second half, Ryan, they're right back in it. They have a chance. So
yeah, Kilo's 1-10. Kilo's 1-10 on the attacking half. To be fair, I think he was set up to fail a little bit. Had to control both shot and showers because the rest of the team were giving up on that position. Now ACEND on the defense can have a lot more control. 3 players over on this A site. 1 in lamps being Bone Cold with a brimstone. Has that classic and a mullet just to make sure, but this is a nice little lurk up. They're gonna expect this amount of players to make their way in. Bone Cold has a lot of work to do.
Well, he's gonna molly and buy some time, and Hootie, nice headshot. That's gonna be Stark so down and out. Bone Cold's turn from the lamps. His teammates step up, and alongside Bone Cold, it's Zeke who gets the double, and it's just Hootie left, and he is out of play. Defuse picked up, and ACEND, they find a pistol. First step of a long road back into this, but they do it in style.
You say style, it was mostly right-click classics.
No. The sheriff style, it was beautiful. From
Oh, yeah, that aspect of it. But Bone Cold, it's just that kind of decision-making too of like setting up the molly, trying to play off of it to get the right kind of angles, kind of knowing that G2 were trying to push up from that position again. It was sort of like all funneled into one spot. And even then, like, you have Zeke just watching towards Showers to get that kill onto Nukier. He sort of knows how pivotal that position could be on the defense. I was going to say, like, Healers, yeah, 1 and 11, like, it was difficult for him to just hold off on any defensive aggression when he's playing up against Nukier. Now going to be playing from that Showers position off of Zeke. A lot of utility already dedicated from G2 to try and take the spot. They'll want the orb, but so do Ascend. They're not willing to let it go.
Like Frozen. On Meadow. Starts to walk in towards the lamps. He's already got some advanced position here for G2, but, you know, actually finding much out of the Classic is going to be the other question. Can he actually do anything with it? Mixwell, good start. That's where you can get out of the Headhunter in a round like this. Bone Cold's head no longer attached to his head. And yeah, it's going to be the drop back. They're going to send a couple of players back to B because of that.
It's also you have Ascend not playing for lamps because it's an eco. It could be a shorty around the corner, could just be a classic right click, do a lot of damage. They're playing well off of it. Starkso back in that position he started in. This flash should be a dead giveaway of what the plan's going to be. And look at the two raises in Showers. Zeke gets that kill and Nuki's right next to him on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, I mean, Nukia obviously finding so much success in this game, but he continues that. Luckily, Ascend starting to clean up, but it does thrust Nukia into the clutch alone. Yeah, if there is a player to pull it off, it feels like Nukia is in the form to do it. He is low on health, Spectre in hand. Spike down in between two players. Position now being given away. 15 seconds, not a lot of time to do this either. Nukia starts to walk into CNED. Who will turn, who will hit the headshot, and 6 rounds for Ascend. It's not the cleanest, it certainly isn't, but it's all about getting rounds now.
Good in the sense of you get a couple of kills onto Ascend, and also you get a good gist of how they're wanting to play out these early rounds. It could be a little bit different from previous weeks. Just throwing out stuff towards Showers, for example, seeing what's going on there. And really, there was a potential opening for G2 to find much more space, but Ascend, they over-rotate initially towards B after Mixwell gets that kill. Then they go, we should probably keep holding on A. We can play retake if we need to. And that just adjustment, that mental reset, does a lot of work for them.
Flash up. Hoodie. Sending the Trailblazer in towards long side. Figures out there's one in the close corner. Now they swing out. Starkso has to drop back in towards elbow. Over the top, CNED. Oh, how does he not get away with one? Just couldn't rattle enough shots to get the kill. And so 1 for 1 between Starkso and Nukia. But Spike continues to walk towards B. And Starkso, good for 1. And good reply to Nukia as Bone Cold hits the deck.
Good upgrade for Keyless as well from defended spawn. Right in this spot. The paint shell is going to connect, and certainly with that snakebite that's there, vulnerable players, Meadow takes a lot of damage, but it's not enough. Keyless in defender spawn gets caught out. There's still Starkso there, though.
Yeah, Starkso's still here right now. Ascend looking for the avenue back into the site. With that aggressive stance and Hoodie, though, that has given the kill away. And G2 can just tuck up, and now we look to Zeke. Can he find anything from Hookah? So passive here from G2. Now they start to play forward. It's Hoodie with 1 more. Starkso's found 3 in this round, but the time is starting to tick, and he has to find them all. He knows he has to try and dig deep and figure out where they're playing from, how to force them out. He knows where they are, but he can't force them to fight, and the time is too far gone. Starkso has to concede. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's one that he must. And it's 9 rounds for G2 now as they continue to find round wins. It's their first in the second half.
I know that it's Ascend losing that round, but there's been so many of the 6 that Ascend have been able to pick up that have been just like crazy multi-kills. Even at round 12, where Scene had almost aces, we've had Zeke being able to ace in the past and Bone Cold not being too far off himself, right? It's a lot of rounds where it feels like it's just individual brilliance. Keeping Ascend in the game. World champions, like, yeah, they have that individual brilliance, but they are being outdone, I think, in a macro sense. Like, G2 have a really good plan of approach, and you know, when Nuki's feeling it, he's feeling it. It's very difficult to shut that down. He gets 2 kills very early on before being traded. Again, B split, aggressive utility focus. Zeke on that angle, can't win it out. Getting traded, G2 finding that advantage early on, but traded out.
Oh, Nukia Oh, he's actually somehow dodged the barrel as well. Nuka comes away with one, set us up Avova. Now Nuka sends his showstopper in towards defender's spawn. CNET has to put an end to the misery. They have to try and plug the hole. G2 in the site. You've got that spike down. Avova drops back in place in hookah. Meadow towards elbow. And right now for CNET and Keyless, they have to move in tandem together. They still have that wall available on CNET. Can use that wherever he decides. He's decided to throw it up onto the spike. And Meadow, he has the corridor. It's got over half already. Meadow has to peek. He eventually will. That's CNET down, and he can't sprite for two. Is this finally time where Keyless is able to wake up? And oh no, the timing on the tap. Avova will best him. And ACEND, that is going to sting. 10 rounds now for G2.
Patience again, G2. Like
this is the scary thing, right? It's not even like, you know, G2 are barely clinging on. A lot of the time, the rounds look far better, and when ACEND even have a shot at getting into a round, it feels like it's done in the most unlikely of fashion. So, yeah, a super surprising result so far from G2. They are just a few away from closing this one out and confirming the bind victory. And yeah, our analysts did not think this one was happening. The community, I'm sure, did not think this one was happening, but you know, we said ACEND can bleed. Right now, they're gushing blood all over the place. They got to patch it up.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a health hazard, Ryan. Got to clean up an aisle 9.
Even when you get into those positions of economy, G2 with having that chamber can at least alleviate some of it. Bone Cold, again, potentially using the orbital strike on a round where they don't have much money.
G2 not picking up too much info. Was belong early. Send through a guiding light up in towards Booker just to try and pick up some info. They've used the Viper's Pit in this round.
Yeah, right? Not afraid to dedicate. I mean, they need to get rounds on the board.
Yeah,
they can't just keep waiting for the full buys to come in. But if Zeke's going to take peeks like that on a round where you use Viper's Pit, it's scary. Bone Cold's still on the fence about using that orbital strike. Trying to take that peek against Mixwell. Seekers has come through. Not got all that much info, but a lot of pressure towards B.
Yeah, well, he's going to get flashed. Bone Cold won't get a chance to use that now. Starks up. Good for one, but has to drop back. He knows he's at least bought himself a few seconds with that guiding light on the drop back. But what can ACEND really hope to get here? They're down a player. They don't have the weapons. They've just got to hope for an absolute miracle. Starkser gets caught towards elbow. Keyless and CNED left in the 2v4. And that's not really what's going to be working out here for ACEND at this moment.
You never know. Like, it's just that ACEND magic, especially when it comes to Sheriff play. But it's the over-reliance on it. They're finding an opening.
Well, Ryan, I smell a bit of magic right now. CNET and Keyless have found a couple of Ova, able to clean up alongside Meadow. And yeah, you know, the opportunity's there, but just so difficult to pull off a round like that. And 11 locked in for G2. Now we look to ACEND. They used the Viper's Pit in the last round. Now they've got the buy coming up into this. They're one away from the Showstopper. They're one away from the Res. They've got the Seekers, they've got the Orbital Strike online. They've got a few ultimates to play with here, and we'll have more to play with in just a little bit. ACEND, this is a must-win.
Ideally, yeah. It's just, this was their map that they really flaunted their power, right? So it is kind of a, if they don't look as good on bind, then how much of the other map pool looks awkward. Gonna try and push over Mixwell, but he's been very good at like holding these fights. Goes for the repeat and teleport away. And this triple stack towards Hookah, backing off for the most part. Zeke again taking an aggressive angle. He likes to do this. Try and put the game on his back when he needs to. Just Zeke catches onto Mixwell.
Yeah, good call. That's Mixwell down. A big threat out of the round already. It's the first checkbox for ACEND. Ticked off. Sending the Trailblazer after Hoodie. Nearly catches him. At least picks up the info that he's there. That allows Bone Cold to transition his position closer towards the teleporter at B long. Wall up at Hookah maintains control for the time being, trying to pull CNET into the swing. You see that idea there from Meadow. Hasn't quite worked out in practice, and Zeke has found another Nukia. Is he the playmaker that gets G2 into this round again? Oh wow, just aerial movements. This guy's a gymnast. Nukia with lethal gymnastics has taken down another. It's 2 kills in this round, and G2 are back into the 3v3. Spike is charging its way back over to this A site in the 33 seconds left. Nuke just found another. He'll send up in towards heaven those paint shells and reloads and still gets the kill. Nukia just so cool under pressure. He's just standing watching him as he reloads, knowing he has the kill. And now Bone Cold left. Well, he is shaking. As Nukia is one away from getting the ace. The incredible 5k from Nukia lies in front of him. Bone Cold begins to walk out through lamps, but this time it's ticking, and Bone Cold has so much to do. One smoke available. Nukia now extends from the showers and confirms his ace. He finds all 5 and does it in disgusting style.
I have never seen movement like that in this. It's like he's playing Soldier again in TF2, Nukia. Like that that blast pack to dodge, to go back on himself as that showstopper comes in. You will never see anything like this from somebody else. Like this is unbelievable.
It's like he's playing in slow motion.
I can't get over. Like, this is just stupid. I don't know what else to say about that. But that dodge from the showstopper might be one of my favorite ever plays in Valorant. That was ridiculous.
That is incredible. Nukia is having a highlight today. 29 kills. 12-6. G2 looked rough at the start of that round, but here they go again. It's CNED with the first. Orbital Strike finally coming in, trying to split up and sever this G2 side, but Meadow continues to charge forward with it. It's one as Zeke and Stark, so they're the cleanup crew now for Ascend. It's just Avova left. A good response here from Ascend back after what was an incredible round from Nukia. To reply like that, to keep themselves in it, at least a little bit of breathing room for Ascend now.
Head above water. 29-12 is Nukia. It's only 20 rounds played.
Yeah, kind of ridiculous.
I mean, like, yeah, if this was what the reason why like Kellogg's was shipped off to Team Heretics, for example, all for it. Makes a lot of sense. A lot of confusion as to why Mixwell was brought in the team. But if this is the general direction that they can lean, this works. Not only you've got Meadow looking so good on the Viper. I wish we saw it more, and I wish we saw it sooner before she gets changed and potentially not played as much. Like, this G2 team looks unbelievable. Like, they're kicking Ascend's ass up and down Ascend's best map. It says a lot, but Ascend, I don't know what to tell you. They just look out of it today.
Well, Hoodie, he's about to clear out this close position. Zeke at the ready, but Hoodie's quicker. And G2 now have a huge advantage, and this has got to feel rough. You know that Nukia is just diving his way around the sites. You can't do anything about it. He is inevitable. 30 kills now picked up, and now we look to CNED and Keyless. A 2 versus 5 as G2 look to take down Bind.
Lineup.
Many of us thought this was impossible. Incredibly unlikely with a conservative few, but here we go. CNED and Keyless trying to keep themselves alive, and it's CNED with the double. Nukia and Hoodie both down, but still 3 more G2 players stand. Viper's Pit is being sent out by Keyless. Reds to cover it off, but it's down. And CNED can use that as info, but Meadow, he's sweeping them up, and Mixwell will close 13-7. Dominance and shock from G2 as they take